What's up, everybody? I'm David Hain. Welcome to episode 229 of the A to D From Addict to Disciple podcast. And you guys know what to do. Follow, like, subscribe, share, whatever you can do to get the word out. I sure appreciate it. If you'd like to get our curriculum, you can get the paperback or ebook From Ashes to Destiny on Amazon. Today's episode, number 229, is called Follow the Plan. And just to set the stage, let's think of the people who do follow plans. Chefs, they have a recipe that they follow to make sure it turns out right. Builders have plans to follow so that the building turns out right. Teachers have lesson plans that hopefully succeed in the learners learning something. Actors have a script they have to follow for the movie or the TV show or whatever to work. Investment planners plan financial success for their clients. Sports teams have a game plan that is different for each team they play. So everybody's got plans. And in recovery, the message today is follow the plan. And I'd like to start with a quote by Benjamin Franklin, who said, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail." Often I find as I work with guys, they struggle following a plan and they're not really prepared to follow the plan. So that's the focus of where we're getting started here. You know, I've had conversations with guys who are just sort of going through the motions, even if they've got a plan, if they've got a curriculum. They've lost motivation, or they've lost focus, or they're just tired all the time, or they are just making hundreds of excuses why they didn't do the homework, they didn't work the plan. And I think it also is realizing that we need to figure out if that's us, if we've lost focus, we've lost motivation. It's not something wrong with the plan, it's a mood that we're going through. And it's important to know how to reset your mood to get back on track. So if your plan is not working, I want to urge you to take inventory. Check your moods. Dig in to the curriculum that you have. Commit to do the work. And remember that your goal has not changed, that you're caught in a hiccup of a mood swing and you need to get back on track. I also had comments from a lot of listeners over the years saying, "David, it seems like every time you do another podcast, you've got another 4 or 5 steps or points for us to follow. So what's with all this step-by-step stuff you have us going through in our recovery?" And the reality is, I believe in having a plan. I believe in having a program. I believe in having a curriculum to follow. That's why I wrote the From Ashes to Destiny curriculum. I think it's important to know that recovery is hard enough just on its own. And if we just try to wing it, it gets almost impossible, just crazy, crazy difficult to just wing recovery on our own with no plan, with no program to follow. Because we are people who lose focus. We are people who lose energy. We are people who have mood swings. So I think the key is, if you need a first good takeaway, follow the plan, not your mood. And if we don't have a plan, we will end up following our moods. The second key thing for me would be find a plan that fits your goal. So whether you're using From Ashes to Destiny as your curriculum and as your recovery plan, whether you're working with a therapist and you've got a treatment plan, whether you're going to AA or NA, whatever it is, work the plan that you've got. Don't jump ahead. Go through it step by step. And remember, AA says it works if you work it. That's a slogan that they say at every meeting to let you know that they've got a plan. And if you put in the work, you will make the progress in the plan. And I like the full phrase, which they don't often say, which is, it works if you work it and you're worth it. So I think it's important to know that you're worth recovery. You're worth the plan and the time that the people are putting in to help you. And you've got to do the work. And AA outlines what the work looks like. So if you're saying, well, I'm doing the work, here's their checklist for you. I talked about taking inventory. Here's your checklist if you're digging in. They say the work includes going to meetings, reading the big book, doing the steps, working with a sponsor, reviewing your day every day, practicing habit formation, changing into new habits, following a schedule and have scheduled times when you are working the plan. Talk to your support group and other people and start learning the quotes and the sayings that they have for you to follow, because they're there for a reason. You got it? So I am a believer in following a plan and having a plan. And I'd like to point out some other things that we may not think about once we're handed the plan. And I love the quote by J.R.R. Tolkien, who says, "It does not do to leave a live dragon out of your calculations if you live near one." You got that? I love that quote. So I think whatever curriculum you're using, whatever plan you're using, it's up to you to share with the people who are supporting you, what are your live dragons that are out there? We can't, ignore them like they don't exist. So we need to really take inventory of what are the live dragons out to burn us or eat us alive as we're in recovery anyway. So we need to build that into our plan if it's not already in the plan you're going through. Second quote I think is a great thought provoker and motivator. It's by Abraham Lincoln. He said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." So I want to challenge you. If you've been handed an axe and the goal is chop down the tree. So if you've got a curriculum, you've got a book, you've got a plan to follow, and you're going to chop down that tree of addiction, so to speak, how many hours are you planning sharpening the axe? How many hours are you putting into doing the work each week? So it doesn't work out just to go to meetings. It doesn't work out just to show up at the tree with a dull axe. You need to be the one sharpening the axe so that you're putting in the work to reach your goal. So I think that's a great one. Third quote I'd like to share today is by John Argenti. And he says, "A plan is a list of actions arranged in whatever sequence is thought likely to achieve an objective." So a couple of things jump out at me from this quote. A plan is a list of actions. Don't try to rewrite the plan that you've been handed. Don't try to rewrite the 12 steps. Don't try to rewrite the curriculum just because it doesn't make sense to you or you want to rush ahead, whatever it is. It's a list of actions, and you need to follow the actions in the proper sequence in order to find success. And I like the fact that the verb in here is act. We have our part in working the plan. It's an active thing. And if you're going through the steps and you haven't worked out what your actions are, if you're going through any chapter and you haven't worked out what your actions are, start thinking about what your actions can be. And a good place to start is, how do I put what I'm learning into action? How does it change my behavior? How does it change my thinking? How does it change my conversations? Okay? You need to get the action going. And finally, I'd like to end with a quote by Edwin Lewis Cole. And he said, "There are dreamers and there are planners. The planners make their dreams come true." Shaw, that's a great one. Are you one who wants your dream of recovery to come true? Well then, get a plan, get a curriculum, follow the plan, work it, do your action. You got that? Cool. Well, thanks for listening today to this episode. I hope it's touched a bunch of you out there. Please send me your feedback. You can do it by email at davidfroma2d@gmail.com. You can send a message on whatever platform you're listening to this podcast in. Or you could go to my website, www.froma2d.org, click on the contact page and send me a message that way. I really do like your feedback. Tune in Monday for our next episode, and as always, stay safe and stay resilient.